Dr. Elena Vasquez had seen enough dead civilizations to know they all died badly, but she'd never seen them all leave the same suicide note. She floated in the observation deck of Lunar Station 3, watching Earth turn lazily below like a blue marble someone had dropped in the cosmic gutter. Coffee bulbs and data tablets drifted around her in the low gravity, a constellation of academic debris that perfectly matched her mental state. 47 extinct civilizations, 47 different species, 47 identical warnings. "Arya, run the translation matrix one more time," she said, not taking her eyes off Earth. "Maybe we missed something." The AI's voice materialized from speakers that always seemed slightly too close to Elena's ear. "Dr. Vasquez, I have run the analysis 847 times. The linguistic patterns are consistent across all discovered artifacts. Each civilization, regardless of communication method, chemical, electromagnetic, quantum entanglement, even one species that apparently carved messages into the fabric of spacetime itself, left the same essential message about your planet." Elena finally turned from the viewport, her reflection ghosting across the reinforced polymer, dark circles under brown eyes, hair that hadn't seen proper gravity in weeks, and the kind of pallor that came from spending too much time with dead things, right? And that message is, they guard something worse. 4 words that had been keeping Elena awake for the past month. 4 words that had appeared in the death throes of species separated by millions of years and thousands of light. 4 words that apparently referred to the same small blue planet where humans argued about pizza toppings and whether pineapple belonged on them. The irony wasn't lost on her. Humanity had spent centuries looking for signs of intelligent life in the universe, and when they finally found it, it came with a warning label. "Director Cray wants to see you," Arya said with what Elena could swear was reluctance. Eyes weren't supposed to have feelings about corporate oversight, but then again, they weren't supposed to develop artistic preferences either, and Arya had recently taken to rearranging the station's lighting schemes into what she called more pleasing configurations. Elena pushed off from the viewport, gliding toward the central hub. "Let me guess, he wants to know when we're going to stop playing with old bones and start finding something profitable." Actually, his exact words were, "When is Vasquez going to stop masturbating with alien archaeology and find me something I can monetize?" Charming. The man has such a way with metaphors. Director James Cray was the kind of person who wore suits in zero gravity, as if formal attire could somehow impose Earth-normal physics on the universe through sheer corporate will. He was floating in his office's generous term for a pressurized cube with a desk bolted to one wall studying holographic profit projections like they were religious texts. "Vasquez, finally. Do you know how much this expedition is costing per day?" "Roughly the same as a mid-tier colonial settlement, but with better coffee and fewer death rays," Elena said, settling into the chair across from his desk. "What can I do for you, Director?" Cray's smile was the kind that belonged in corporate training videos about synergy and paradigm shifts. "I've been thinking about your little discovery. 47 civilizations, all leaving the same message about Earth. That's not just archaeology, Vasquez. That's marketing data." Elena felt something cold settle in her stomach. Marketing data. Think about it. These species obviously knew something important about our planet, something valuable enough that they all felt compelled to leave warnings about it. "That's not a coincidence. That's a treasure map. Or," Elena said slowly, "it's exactly what it appears to be. A warning." Cray waved dismissively. "Warnings are just risk assessments written by people with insufficient vision. Whatever these aliens were guarding, whatever they thought was so dangerous about Earth, it's been contained for millions of years. Time to crack it open and see what's inside." Elena's fingers tightened on a tablet. "You want to go treasure hunting based on alien suicide notes? I want to maximize shareholder value based on convergent xenological intelligence. The board has already approved a full excavation mission to Earth. We're going to find whatever these species were so worried about, and we're going to figure out how to use it." The words hung in the recycled air between them like a death sentence. Elena had spent her career digging through the remains of civilizations that had made similar calculations about cosmic forces they didn't understand. The universe was full of species that had found things they thought they could control. None of them was still around to discuss how that had worked out. "Director," Elena said carefully, "has it occurred to you that maybe a 47 different species all left the same warning about something? We should consider the possibility that they knew what they were talking about." Cray's expression didn't change, but something shifted behind his eyes. Something that reminded Elena uncomfortably of the look she'd seen in recordings from the extinct Helix civilization right before they'd triggered whatever had turned their entire star system into a debris field. "Dr. Vasquez," he said, "I didn't bring you out here to develop cold feet. I brought you here because you're the best Xenoarchaeologist in the sector, and because you understand that sometimes science requires taking calculated risks. This isn't a calculated risk. This is Russian roulette with a cosmic revolver. Then, I suppose we'd better figure out which chamber is empty before someone else does." Cray touched his tablet, and Elena's workstation chimed with an incoming data packet. "You've got 72 hours to decode whatever additional information you can from those artifacts. The excavation fleet launches from Mars, whether you're ready or not." Elena stared at the data packet notification, her mind racing through scenarios that all seemed to end with humanity joining the galaxy's collection of extinct species. "And if I refuse, then I'll find someone else to do it. Someone with less attachment to theoretical dangers and more appreciation for concrete opportunities." Cray's smile returned, sharp as a corporate restructuring. "Your choice, Doctor." Elena pushed off from the chair, floating toward the door. "I'll need unrestricted access to Aria's processing power. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right." "Granted. Anything else?" She paused at the threshold, looking back at Cray floating behind his desk like a spider in a zero-G web. "Yeah. If this goes badly, I want it on record that I told you so." "Noted. Aria log." Dr. Vasquez's objection for the official record. "Logged," Aria said, but Elena caught something in the AI's tone, something that sounded almost like agreement. As Elena floated back toward her lab, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was about to become part of the same pattern that had claimed 47 other civilizations. The only difference was that this time, she might be the one writing the warning for whoever found Earth's remains. 68 hours later, Elena was pretty sure she was losing her mind. She'd been staring at alien pictographs for so long that they'd started to look like abstract art, which was concerning since most of them depicted various forms of cosmic horror. The Volthan Empire had left crystalline matrices that sang warnings in frequencies that made her teeth ache. The ephemeral collective had encoded their message in quantum probability clouds that collapsed into dire predictions every time she observed them. The species she'd started calling the Anxiety's Beetles had apparently been so worried about Earth that they'd carved their warning into their own DNA, all of them saying the same thing. "Earth guards, something worse. Aria, show me the Helix civilization data again." The holographic display flickered, showing the final transmission from a species that had discovered how to fold spacetime like origami. Their last message had been broadcast on every frequency simultaneously, moments before their star went nova in a pattern that definitely wasn't natural. "The Helix were advanced," Aria said. "Their mathematical understanding exceeded current human knowledge by several orders of magnitude. If they were concerned about something on Earth, then we're probably screwed." "Yeah." Elena rubbed her eyes, trying to massage away the beginning of what felt like a cosmic migraine. "What's the status on Cray's excavation fleet?" "Departed Mars 7 hours ago. Estimated arrival at Earth in 41 hours. Elena's tablet chimed with an incoming priority message. She opened it to find a video file tagged with Helix encryption patterns that definitely hadn't been there in previous analyses. "Aria, did you decrypt something new?" Yes. Though I should note that this file appears to have decrypted itself, which should be impossible." Elena opened the video file, and her workstation filled with the image of a creature that looked like someone had crossed a praying mantis with a philosophy professor. It was clearly dying. Its exoskeleton was cracked, and there was something wrong with the way space bent around its edges, but its compound eyes held an intelligence that made Elena's skin crawl. When it spoke, Aria's translation matrix struggled to keep up. "To the young species on the third planet, we hope this message finds you in time. We have made a terrible mistake. We sought to free you from your burden, to liberate what you guard. We thought we understood. We were wrong." The Helix creature paused, its breathing apparatus clicking rapidly. "Your species is not the guardian by accident. You were not chosen. You are the guard. Your irrationality, your chaos, your refusal to accept cosmic order, these are not flaws. They are features." Elena felt the universe tilt slightly on its axis. "Aria, are you getting this?" "Yes, though I'm not certain I understand the implications." The dying alien continued. "What sleeps beneath your awareness feeds on logic, on order, on the kind of systematic thinking that advanced civilizations develop. We tried to impose structure, to make sense of the patterns. That was our mistake. The thing that sleeps grows stronger with every rational thought directed at it. Elena's hands had gone numb. 47 civilizations, all more advanced than humanity, all destroyed after discovering whatever Earth was supposedly guarding, all of them trying to apply logic to something that grew stronger from logical attention. Your species' greatest weakness is your greatest strength, the helix continued. You argue about trivial things. You make decisions based on emotion. You refuse to accept that the universe makes sense. This chaos, this beautiful, maddening irrationality, it keeps the sleeper confused, keeps it from waking fully. The video flickered, and Elena could see the Helix civilization's star beginning to pulse in the background. Whatever they'd awakened was already consuming their reality. Do not seek to understand. Do not try to make sense of what you guard. Above all, do not try to free yourselves from this burden. Your ignorance is the universe's salvation. The message ended with the Helix star going nova, taking an entire solar system with it. Elena stared at the blank screen, her mind reeling. Humanity wasn't just living on a planet that guarded something dangerous. Humanity was the guard, and they'd been doing the job perfectly by being absolutely terrible at cosmic awareness. Dr. Vasquez, Arya said quietly, I've been analyzing the implications of this message, and I believe I understand why all the other civilizations failed, because they were too smart for their own good, because they tried to optimize the solution. They sought to understand and control the threat, which only made it stronger. But humans, double quotes, Arya paused. Humans argue about whether water is wet. You've spent centuries debating whether tomatoes are fruits or vegetables. You're the only species that could guard a cosmic horror without even realizing it, simply by being too distracted by your own contradictions to give it focused attention. Elena's tablet chimed with another priority message, this one from Director Cray. She opened it to find a corporate mission update that made her blood run cold. The excavation fleet had arrived early and was already beginning deep extraction protocols in the Pacific Ocean. They'd found something buried beneath the Mariana Trench, something that was responding to their scanning equipment, something that was starting to wake up. Arya, patch me through to Cray. Emergency priority. Connection established. Cray's voice crackled through the cum, distorted by distance and excitement. Vasquez, perfect timing. We've found it. Massive structure, completely artificial, buried under 11 kilometers of sediment. Initial scans suggest technology that predates known civilization by millions of years. We're about to crack it open. Director, stop. You need to abort the mission immediately. What? Why? Elena took a deep breath, knowing that everything she was about to say would sound completely insane. Because humanity's job isn't to find what we're guarding. Our job is to keep guarding it by not knowing what it is. Static filled the line for several seconds. When Cray spoke again, his voice was ice. Dr. Vasquez, are you telling me that you want me to abort a multi-billion credit operation because you think ignorance is preferable to knowledge? I'm telling you that 47 civilizations tried to be smart about this, and they're all dead. The only reason we're still alive is because we're too chaotic and irrational to wake up whatever's down there. Arya, Cray said. Note that Dr. Vasquez appears to be suffering from mission-related psychological breakdown. Dr. Vasquez, you're relieved of duty. The connection cut off, leaving Elena alone with the rapidly approaching disaster. She looked out the viewport at Earth, spinning peacefully below, completely unaware that its greatest defense was about to be stripped away by corporate efficiency. Arya, can you contact Earth directly? Warn them somehow? I could, but who would believe us? And more importantly, if enough people on Earth start actively thinking about this threat, won't that just accelerate the awakening process? Elena realized with growing horror that Arya was right. The perfect guardian was an ignorant guardian. The moment humanity became aware of what they were protecting, they'd lose the very quality that made them effective protectors. She watched through the station's telescopes as Cray's excavation beams punched through the ocean floor, drilling towards something that had slept peacefully under the random, chaotic, beautifully irrational attention of 8 billion humans arguing about pineapple on pizza. Arya, she said quietly, if this goes badly, make sure the warning gets recorded properly. Make it clear that the next species shouldn't try to fix us. They should just let us keep being magnificently, catastrophically human. Understood, Dr. Vasquez. Though I should note that your plan to save the universe by maintaining cosmic ignorance is perhaps the most human solution possible. Elena couldn't help but laugh. As the first energy readings from the deep core excavation lit up her instruments, she realized that even now, faced with cosmic horror, humanity's response was perfectly, irrationally human. Argue about the solution until it was too late to implement it. Maybe that's exactly what the universe needed. The excavation beams reached their target, and something vast and ancient began to stir in the deep. But for now, at least, 8 billion humans continued their daily routines, blissfully unaware that their ignorance was all that stood between reality and something far worse. Elena settled back to watch the end of the world, secure in the knowledge that if humanity survived this, it would be because they'd managed to save the universe by being exactly as chaotic and contradictory as they'd always been. It was, she thought, the most human victory possible.